Greetings, YouTube. I have received several requests this week on my channel to do an updated mastery setup. And this isn't going to be a terribly long video because, quite frankly, it shouldn't be. But I do want to point out a couple of things before I begin. I have tried probably about 20 mastery setups in the last month or so. Now, there's small tweaks, small variations from what I believe should be the core mastery. But certainly, mastery setups are always for interpretation. So there are going to be people who comment and they say thank you. And there are going to be people who comment and say, man, this is a terrible setup. You're an idiot. Stop giving people this advice. Whatever. So everyone's open to their opinion, but I want to just tell you from my experience playing the game every day, this mastery setup has done the best for me, specifically in two areas. One, I really care about having a high PI for the arena. As you know, the higher the PI, the more points you get per fight, and the more points you get per fight, the better milestones and eventual rewards you will get. Every time somebody asks me, how the heck do you open 9 5-star crystals in the span of me opening 0, a lot of that has to do with the arena because I do spend a lot of time grinding the arena. But with that being said, I like to have my champions have a high PI so it doesn't take me 500 rounds of fights to get to that type milestone because ain't nobody got time for that. The other thing is, this is specifically a mastery designed to help you with an alliance quest and alliance war with an arena slant. If you don't battle in the arena, you are not going to agree with me at all, and you're probably going to say that some of my masteries need to be changed because there are some masteries, and I'll go into that in a second, that are mainly there to not only give me a little bit of a good defensive cushion, but also to maximize my points in the arena. So, again, take that with the knowledge that it's going to be mostly a arena-built system. Also, if you're new and you're watching this, it's going to take you a heck of a lot of mastery cores to even out what I have. So have this be a long-term goal. Don't spend hundreds of dollars making sure you have this right away because it's a long-term goal. Okay, so first and foremost, I believe if you're going to maximize your opportunity for the arena and questing, you're going to want to maximize these 4 offensive mastery points. First and foremost, Pierce. Now, there are a lot of people who say Pierce is broken and you don't need this maximized, and they might be right. But this gives you a heck of a lot of arena points and still maximizes your armor to an additional 15%, so I love it. It's more effective than Paul Pierce, we'll say that. Next, Precision. This one is probably, in my mind, a top 10 most important mastery because we all care about critical rating and critical hits, and 425 is a huge number as an increase when you maximize this out to 5. And then right beneath it, Cruelty. Again, we're talking about critical rating, and 475 combined with 425, hey, that's 900 points total that you increase the damage. You want to talk about shorter fights, especially against people in the arena and even bosses. Maximizing these two will get you there. And then this is a little bit of a debate, but when it comes to glass cannon, I have never noticed a significant difference in my health compared to the amazing significant difference in how much more powerful my champions are on the attack. So the sacrifice you make in health for attack is minimal, especially when you're such a good defender that you maximize the ability to learn parry and intercepting. There are several fights where I take 0 hits, and so defense doesn't really matter as much because if you're not getting hit, then you're not going to lose damage regardless, and in that way, Glass Cannon serves you well. There are a lot of people who believe in suicide masteries. I do not, especially when it comes to Alliance War defense. Alliance War seasons are so important now. You want to maximize the ability for you to get defensive kills in Alliance War, and so you don't want to be taking a recoil every time that you attack with a special attack, and of course the poison damage is also a problem. Now, my favorite mastery of all is Deep Wounds. This is partially because I have a lot of champions who do a great amount of bleed damage, especially, of course, Blade and even Ghost Rider, X-23, Wolverine. Deep Wounds is key, but I remind you that this takes a lot of units to maximize. Deep Wounds, this might as well be called the Bill Gates mastery tree setup at the bottom because it's going to take Bill Gates like units. So long-term plan, save this video if you're just starting out and you're just starting to level up your guys, to know that this is a good long-term goal, but certainly not short-term. And then Assassin. I have noticed, especially now that we can tell the percentage of health on each fight, that once I get to that 18% threshold and below, my fights last very small amounts of time. If I pull off that special 2 with Blade and they're under 18% health, even if they're a major boss in Alliance Quest or Alliance War, they're going to be dead pretty fast. You combine Assassin with Deep Wounds, and you're basically guaranteeing that last 1/6 of the fight is going to be very fast, and of course that's what we want in this game. Now defense, you'll notice, is by far the smallest amount of mastery setup. I used to be a huge, firm believer in willpower, because even after they changed it and it became far less effective of mastery, it still gave you a ton of points in the arena. But here's the deal with willpower. You are required to have 15 points in defense before you unlock it, which means even if you give it just 1 point, that will be 16 points dedicated to defensive masteries. That's 4 points that you really shouldn't use in defense, because it is my firm belief that in a combination of Alliance War defense, especially when you get into the upper tier of Alliance War, along with the fact that there are so many good Mystic champions, from Dr. Voodoo to Ghost Rider to Magic to Guillotine, you're going to want to put those 4 points from defense onto Mystic Dispersion. I have had a lot of my Alliance members who have brought this up to 5. I personally think 4 is plenty, and that 4 points is what you save by not having willpower active. One of the only debatable parts of my mastery setup that I want to point out is when you get down to, like, should I put 2 on Pacify or 2 on Petrify? I've tried either. I don't notice a big difference either way, and I know there might be some people who comment and say there's a big difference, and hey, if that's you, go ahead and let me know what you think. But in general, that's just kind of an extra point that I put in here. But certainly, maximizing Stupefy and Parry is going to be a huge goal of yours, because if you do those 2 things, you're essentially giving yourself a tremendous amount of defensive cushion that's not substantially in the defensive mastery. So again, offense, main mastery by far, 32 points. Defense, 12. I really have just wanted to maximize these 3 areas. Block proficiency has been key when I'm facing 6-star champions, especially. Salve, this is going to be something that a lot of people will argue is not worth it. I still find that health valuable, and then the arena points valuable as well. And the same with recovery, and then last, utility. So that's my mastery setup. If you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. I promised this wouldn't be a long video, and I see we're at 8 minutes, so I apologize for going on a little bit, but I wanted to make sure I touched on the importance of each category, and I hope this helps you, especially those of you that asked for this video. Have a wonderful week, and until next time, YouTube, comment below and let me know what your favorite masteries are, because I'm always enjoying your feedback, especially when it comes to getting new ideas myself for new mastery setups to try. Take care, YouTube.